Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Colorado LTAP Tailgate Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about distracted driving, and here's why we're talking about it. Over 3,000 lives are lost each year as a result of distracted driving in the U.S. A crash or ticket caused by distracted driving can increase yearly insurance premiums by over $220. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 9 people every day die due to distracted driving. Distracted driving practices like texting and talking on a phone are choices. Most deaths from distracted driving crashes are preventable. You must be part of the solution to reduce these traffic deaths. Here's the definition of distracted driving. Distracted driving is any activity that could divert a person's attention away from the primary task of driving. All distractions endanger driver, passenger, and bystander safety. Things like texting, using a cell phone or smartphone, eating or drinking, talking to passengers, grooming, reading, including maps, using a navigation system, watching a video, or adjusting a radio or CD player. And don't let your pets drive. In fact, they should be strapped into the seat with a properly fitted harness to protect them from injury in the event of a crash. There are 3 types of distraction usually: visual, manual, and mental or cognitive. Visual distractions are those that take your eyes off the road. Whether it's inside or outside of the car, it's a distraction. Things like checking your phone, picking something up off the floor, watching something outside of the car, right? All of those things are distractions. Rubbernecking, reading signs, looking for your destination, right? If you're not familiar with the area. Manual distractions are those that make you take your hands off the wheel. Things like using a phone, adjusting the radio, eating, children, pets in the car. And cognitive distractions are those that take your mind off the task of driving. Things like talking, all visual distractions, all manual distractions. So you can see where all of this overlaps. Um, if they take your eyes, your hands off the road, or off the task of driving, they also take your mind, thoughts, and focus off the task of driving as well. Driving is one of, if not the most dangerous activity that we all perform every day on a regular basis. Why make it harder? Because the problem is that distracted driving affects your attention, your reaction time, and your braking distance. That's what causes the problem. So let's go back a little bit to those statistics and we'll talk about that we talked about on the first slide. There are more than 3,000 people a day that die in crashes caused by distractions or distracted driving. Our phones are killing us because that is the primary distraction. Looking at the photo on the far left, this woman is obviously walking through a very dangerous work area. So we're killing each other, we're killing ourselves. She's not driving, but she's walking through the construction area where she shouldn't be because she's distracted. She has no idea what's happening around her. All of these deaths and injuries are preventable. Driving a vehicle while texting is 6 times more dangerous than driving while intoxicated. We hear these comparisons all the time, and here's why this is true for drunk driving. While your brain is not functioning at full capacity while you're drunk, it's still trying to drive correctly. When you're texting or using your hands on a phone, your brain has left the car and is on a journey with your text or your call. It's not even trying to drive. Sober focused drivers took an average of 0.54 seconds to brake. For legally drunk drivers, add 4 feet to stop safely. Add an extra 36 feet to brake while reading an email. And texting added 70 feet to your stopping distance. 5 seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while you're texting. At 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to cover the length of a football field. Think of all the things that could enter your path in the 5 seconds you're not looking. All those close calls we've all had, they were pure chance. And we have taken that chance because we believe our brain can do more than one thing at a time, right? It's a supercomputer. We went to the moon. We can cure diseases. We have solved mankind's problems. Not so. How your brain actually works. Most recent neuroscience research tells us that the brain doesn't really do tasks simultaneously. In fact, they switch very quickly, but they switch. Each time we move from hearing music to writing a text to talking to someone, there's a stop-start process that goes on in the brain. Distracted activity, so things that we do while driving that are distractions. We text 61% of the time, or 61% of us. We email 33% of us. We surf the net 28%. Facebook 27%. Snapping selfies and photos 17%. Going on Twitter 14%. On down the line. Instagram 14%. Shooting a video 12%. Snapchat 11%. Video chatting 10%. Reading social media, accessing the internet, and listening to navigation all almost doubled the use in usage from 2009 to 2015. But really, how much of this is worth your life or someone else's life? Is a photo of your lunch posted on Facebook worth killing someone? Who out there does not believe distracted driving is a problem? Well, here's a few more statistics. 88.7% of drivers feel all cell phone distractions are a problem. That's most of us, right? 96% feel text and email is a threat to safety. And 61% of people found that cell phone usage was unacceptable while driving. Now, that's the majority in every one of those cases, right? Well, welcome to the hypocrisy zone, because here's the real deal. Even though most of us felt that way, people disapprove of distracted driving, and but their behavior says otherwise. 63.7% admitted, and it's hard to see this, but admitted, you add these up, and they admitted that in the past 30 days, they have done these behaviors. They have texted while driving. They have emailed while driving. They have read or texted, read or sent a text. They did it. So what does that say, right? We are the problem, all of us. We know it's a problem. We are still doing it. What can we do to be the solution, right? We can educate our employees. If you're an employer, educate your employees on the policy and procedure. Educate them on the hazards of texting and driving or distracted driving in general. Enforce the policies and procedures. And if you are a supervisor who has employees that drive for their job, don't call them on a cell phone if you know they're driving. Don't text them and expect them to answer, and explain your responsibility as well as theirs. If you are an employee, change the way you think about distractions. You are affected and you are the solution. Make the message part of your everyday experience and don't accept distracted driving from others. If you're not the driver, try not to accept distracted driving from other drivers, and be the example, because the responsibility is entirely ours. Our attitudes need to change. We need to bring the message home, and we need to be the example. And we need to make sure that distracted driving is vilified just like drunk driving is. So the key points I want you to remember today: thousands of people are dying every year from our distractions. They can be manual, visual, and cognitive, or all three. They affect our attention, our reaction time, and our braking distance. We all know it's a problem, and we still do it. So get out of the hypocrisy zone. Be a responsible employer and don't expect your employees to answer a phone while they drive. And be a responsible employee and don't use the phone for texting or talking while driving. The references for the information today came from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Safety Council, and you have the websites right here. Thank you for attending the Colorado LTAP Tailgate Talk today. I hope you found the distracted driving safety topic helpful and that you and your employees incorporate it into your safety routine. We are the problem and we are the solution. Put your devices away and drive like your life depends on it. Thank you and stay safe.